Hello guys, it's good to have you here again. Today we are going to be looking at two major things. One is an update of what we started about 4 months ago on vine cuttings. We want to see how far we're able to navigate the dry season with vine cuttings. And at the end of it all, we are going to do a pilot, as in the harvest of our pilot study. I know many persons have not seen, it still looks as if it is very impossible to grow microtubers or yams from vine cuttings. You've seen it being done, as in terms of planting. You've never seen the harvest. Today will afford us the opportunity of harvesting. We are going to be doing it together. We are going to see what we have from the pilot study that I started about 6 months ago. But first, let us look at what we did about 4 months ago, now. And it was during the dry season. Let us see how far we have been able to navigate our way, if we succeeded or maybe we failed. Let's try to answer some questions. All right, guys. We can still remember this cone garden that we used for our vine cuttings about 4 months ago. And as you can see, we are having very, very few vines that succeeded till now. This is actually about the end of the dry season, around late January. And I told us that we are going to try something that has never really been done before, trying to do this in the dry season in the open to see how far we can go, or to see how far we could go. And the results are here. Ideally, to do vine cuttings, you require a screen house or a greenhouse. But of course, for local farmers, you may not be able to afford that. And we needed to do something drastic. Plant them in the open under the shade of a tree. Unfortunately, even the tree could not survive really the dry season. Almost all the leaves are shaded. You're off. And so leaving our vines to be very, very vulnerable. And so this is in quote, the bad news. That it is difficult to do this in the open and during the dry season. Virtually nothing survives sometimes during the dry season. But for us, we've been able to answer one particular question, albeit it in the negative. It means that it is established now that it's very challenging and difficult to do this during the dry season. No matter how much you irrigate, it is still very, very challenging. Because one problem with the dry season is humidity, which is needed for these vines to actually thrive. All right? So that is, in quote, the bad news. So you see the vines now, they could not survive. They died even after, germinating and taking up. What we said initially was, would they even germinate? Would they even root? But we have succeeded in achieving that. Although some of them are still thriving, they are trying to continue the journey. But at least we can see now that it's not that easy. But let me show you something very, very interesting from this particular experiment. I said this whole video today is in 2 parts, giving you an update of this, then eventually trying to do the harvest of the one that we started way before this. That was my pilot study, and it seems to be the first of harvest. But there's something I want to show you. So, for those who do not believe that yam vines can produce tubers or can produce anything, I want to show you that to an extent. Let's see if we can answer your question. You were here when we started this. All right. So you were here when we started this, of course. Now, this is the vine that I just brought out. Now you are seeing me bring it out. Now you can see the tuber. This is a tuber. All right. From the vine that we planted. It's just that, of course, because of dry season and all that, it could not survive till the end, but it has started producing tuber. And it would have continued if we had, right? So this is a possibility that we have been talking about. It is very possible to grow tubers from vine cuttings. This has answered this question, and I think this is a positive one for us. So if you remove all these ones now, you no matter how small, somehow you see a developing tuber. This is another developing tuber. So it's not rocket science and it's not fluke. All right, and so on and so forth. So this is something at least we have achieved here, because you knew when we were planting this. So I've removed 3 vines now, and I've given you 3 tubers. Now you may think, what are we going to do with this? With this, we can do quite a lot. So I want you to keep watching our videos, because I'm going to show you what you can do with tiny micro tubers like this in the future. So this is more like we have, in quote, we have harvested this now, and I'm definitely going to do something with this with time. So imagine this is just about 4 months. Imagine you really having this during the rainy season, which is something I want to focus on by the grace of God this season. We want to focus on vine cuttings, how we can do them in various conditions, under various conditions. We have succeeded now in establishing something. You can plant yam vines, they will grow, they will germinate, and they will bring out tubers. Now, the possibility aspect has been established. The next thing we are going to be talking about is the efficiency aspect. And there are a whole lot of things that we can do. Let us see how this is going to fare during the rainy season. Are we going to do very well during the rainy season? These are the questions that we have not answered. And for those who are wondering, why bother do this? Let me tell you something. Vine cuttings is actually the best way to multiply seeds, because from only one vine, you can get as much as 50 of these or better than this if you do very well. I'll show you the one that I harvested before. That was my very first one. I put it in a short video and I weighed it. It was about 45 grams, and that's huge for a vine cutting. This one now might be giving us something like between maybe 7 to 10 grams. This one is actually very important too for something else. I will show this with time. So what I'm trying to establish here is this. There's a possibility. The next is to be looking at how efficient is this particular method, knowing fully well that this is the best method to grow plenty of yams. Some persons will say, what about what's it called? Mini set technology. Yeah, mini set technology has its own advantages. But I want you to understand that the number you get from mini set technology is nothing compared to using vine cuttings. So now that you have known that it is possible, let us now work towards making it efficient. There are so many questions. Is it all varieties of white yam that can do this? Our local varieties, can they do this? We answer all these questions with time. It means that there is a whole lot of work to be done. We just began. So if you have not subscribed, you would want to subscribe at this point, so that because you are going to definitely have more things to learn from us. For those who have been with us, they know how they've been learning. All right, we have established this. I've shown you this. So let's go to the other one so that we'll go and harvest. Okay. For those who always follow my videos, I uploaded a video where I showed this very one that I harvested. It was from here that I harvested it. So they are dried now. They were actually my very first, in fact, the first breakthrough I ever had in vine cuttings. Of course, planted in the open, but basically during the rainy season, because this was harvested about some 2 weeks ago or thereabouts. So they are already dried. So I decided to just wait so that I can harvest the other ones in your presence. All right. This is another one. These ones are way later than this. And I think these are about 5 months or thereabout. They are still developing. Of course, you can see that they are still developing, although they are still just bringing out some new vines and all that. But at least they are doing very, very well. They are doing very, very well now. So let's see this one. These are the dry vines. So this one is dry. I can just see. All right, you can see that this one has come out. This is one bulb that just came out. All right. So this one came out from here. This one is coming out from this other one. So let's see what this one is going to give me. I'm quite excited because even me, it was looking like magic when I first knew about vine cutting. So trust me, I always like to experiment. I decided to start experimenting. Okay. Wow. So now see this. This is another one coming. Then this is another one. This one is a bit long. So another one from vine. Okay. I think I have one more here. Okay. Wow. Nice. This is another one. Wow. So you can see every vine that I planted there gave me at least these tubers. So you will now be wondering, what am I going to do with this? Of course, these are now seeds that I can use to grow seed yams. These are actually improved varieties. The question is, if I try local varieties, will they also do this for me? I have not answered that question. And I intend to answer that question later in the season, God willing. Like this 45, this one is the biggest I've harvested. Although I also did the same thing in another location. I have just harvested something close to these two. All right. The ones there, they tend to be doing better because I use palm front to screen them. This one was just done in the open. So at the end of it all, will the local varieties also do this? Somebody will be saying, why bothering yourself doing all this? It's just a waste of time. Just cut yam tubers and plant and all that. Yes, you could say that because you have the luxury of having yam tubers. There are some persons in the diaspora to even get seed is a challenge. Imagine that they are able to get, even if I give you something like this, you live in the diaspora, I give you something like this. With this, you can start your own yam farm. All you need is patience. Imagine you planting this, and you have plenty of vines, cutting those vines and planting in your areas, and you now get plenty of this. In another season, you have plenty of seed yams to plant. These are some of the advantages that we have here. And let me also tell you something. These are pure seed yams. They are from vines, relatively disease-free. That's another advantage you must understand. So there are a whole lot of advantages that we have with vine cuttings. So right now, I want to raise an army, in quote, of young farmers who will be willing to do vine cuttings. Now, this is basically the beginning. There are a lot of people out there, you've been doing this for a very long time. We want to learn from you. What are your experiences? People want their doubt to be cleared. At least this one has cleared some doubt today, that it is possible to grow yam seeds from vines. We've established that now. It's right before you. But the next thing we need to start doing is how efficient we can do this. Will the local varieties also do this? And how well will they do this compared to the improved varieties? Some of us who have very fantastic local varieties that we are already attached to, we are used to. And again, for those of us in the diaspora, is it possible that you can do this? Many of you have greenhouses. Many of you have fantastic weathers with fine and relative humidity that can encourage this. We don't even know now, will vine cuttings do better in Canada, UK, Australia, compared to Nigeria? These are the questions that we have to answer in the future. By the grace of God, God giving us life and health, we are here to keep answering that question. But if you want to join me, reach out to me, especially if you are in all these countries and other countries in the diaspora that I've mentioned and you are interested in yam farming or cultivating yams in your place. Reach out to me. I might be able to help. Trust me, I might be able to help because we have been doing it for other people. So reach out to me. We may be able to do something about it, especially with growing yam seeds from yam vines. Who knows? That might be another source of income for you. I think I just threw that out there. Somebody can capitalize on that. But in the meantime, let's get ready for a very, very sweet journey in this season by God's grace. Thank you for watching and God bless you.